Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Today's lesson is on observing workplace hygiene procedures. And we are going to have the following learning objectives. The first one is to follow hygiene procedure, and the second is to identify and prevent hygiene risks. So, what are our hygiene procedures? So, hygiene procedures may include safe and hygienic handling of equipments, food, and beverages, regular hand washing, correct food storage, appropriate and clean clothing, especially in hotels, avoidance of cross contamination, safe handling disposal of linen and laundry, appropriate handling and disposal of garbage, cleaning and sanitizing procedure, and personal hygiene. So it's quite divided into certain parts from your personal hygiene to the things that you're handling, like food or equipments, and to the housekeeping, okay, or the cleaning of the workplace. So sanitation standards in handling service equipments only clean and sanitized glasses, flatwares, chinawares, and other equipment shall be set up and to be used for service. Of course, that is to avoid cross-contamination and dirt. Next, equipment should not be exposed to contamination. Keep them in closed drawers or cabinets, not exposed to dust or dirt. And next, food delivered for room service must be covered to avoid bacterial contamination. There are some bacteria that we can't see. Therefore, to avoid them, we have to cover our food for service, for room service. All service equipments must be wiped dry also after washing them with clean wiping clothes to protect them from watermarks. The clothes used for this purpose must be segregated from other wiping clothes because this is supposed to be clean. They may be identified by color coding. Service equipment like bowls, glasses, cutleries must be handled properly, and bowls should be underlined with appropriate uh, plate underliner and never to be served with the finger touching the rim. We have to understand that although we apply proper hand washing, it is still not safe for us to be touching the rim of the bowls or those plate with our fingers. Avoid touching the food and utensil with bare hands also. Use a scooper for scooping ice, serving spoon, and fork for dishing out foods. When serving straw or napkin, never hold them with bare hands too, to protect them from bacterial contamination. Either serve them with their wrappers or in their respective dispensers. Yeah, that's for straw and napkin. Let your client be the one to hold them. When serving additional utensils or napkin, place them in a plate to avoid direct contact with the hand. So the thumb should be kept away from the plate to avoid touching the sauce, meat, or dish. Then, when setting up flatwares and glasses, avoid leaving finger marks on them by carrying them in trays or with cloth napkin. That's why if you go to a restaurant, the waiter would serve the food on a tray. Never serve food and cutleries that have fallen on the floor. Well, definitely, especially if uh, some people saw it, and especially if nobody saw it. To avoid contamination, food must be covered when it is not served immediately. Avoid placing food on top of counters or tables. Never share utensils, cups, glasses, or plates that are oily, wet, or with finger marks, spots, or lipstick. Remove them from the station and replace them with clean ones. Use hot water to remove the grease. And air dry chinawares after coming from the dishwasher. Do not stack dishes too high because it can cause accidents. Avoid handling in uh, bouquet. Hold footed glasses on the stem and high ball glasses on the base. So there's a proper way of handling these materials. Never put flatware, silverwares into glasses. Place them in their appropriate container. Also follow the 3S. The scrapes take segregate when bussing. Trays must be handled with the palm and not the fingers holding the plate. So these are some of the sanitation standards in handling service equipment. So it is a standard. It's not only given by one company, but it is being followed by most of them. The next thing that we'll be talking about is the regular hand washing, and I'm going to show you a video of the steps to effective hand washing. Apply enough soap, rub the hands palm to palm, right palm over left dorsum with interlaced fingers and vice versa. You can see it in the video. And step 4, palm to palm with fingers interlaced. Back of fingers to opposing palms with fingers interlocked. Step 5. Step 6, rotational rubbing of left thumb clasped in. And 7, rotational rubbing of the palm and vice versa. Then you rinse your hands with water, then dry it thoroughly with a single-use towel. Use towel to turn off faucet also. Your hands are now clean. So in summary, we have here the steps. You can read them. This is from the guideline of the WHO. Okay, so that's it. Next, service providers must wash their hands very frequently. So in these particular occasions, you are supposed to wash your hands if you're a service provider upon arrival to the workplace, before and after meal times, and before handling any food, after using the toilet, after handling body fluids from sneezing, coughing, wiping, or blowing noses, or from open sores. So you still have to wash your hands before preparing food, after handling raw or uncooked foods, especially raw meats and poultry, after coming into contact with detergents or bleach while cleaning the workplace, after handling disposal of soiled linen and laundry, and after handling garbage. Clean clothing, cleaning, and sanitizing. So, how do we do this? There are also appropriate and clean clothing. Okay, so wear appropriate clothes or uniform as prescribed. That is considered to be your PPE. Be sure your clothes are clean and well pressed and free from stains or wrinkles all the time. We always want to be look presentable to our clients. Wear proper working clothes and aprons when preparing foods. Avoidance of cross-contamination. So we have to practice the avoidance of cross-contamination by always washing our hands before and after handling raw foods or before preparing food. Wash hands, dishcloths, chopping boards especially, or any kitchen utensil that has been in contact with raw food, because they are all high on the risk list of cross-contamination. Also, cover any cuts with waterproof bandages and do not prepare food for others if you are sick or have a skin infection. in as much as you'd like to work, you need to uh, work on other areas other than preparing food. If you have the skin infection and if you are sick. Also, remember that all raw foods are potential sources of contamination, so you have to store them separately. That's why we have the sort in the 5S from ready to eat foods. For example, in the refrigerator, store raw meat and poultry below other foods and put them on the plate to prevent dripping. It makes no difference in the raw material is if the raw material is free range or organic, the risk is just the same. You don't say this is organic, so it's okay. No. Never use the same utensil for preparing raw and cooked foods. This might be easily overlooked when preparing a barbecue. Use separate utensils and place the raw and cooked meat. Next, do not separate salads on cutting boards that have been used for raw meat. It is a good idea to have a cutting board that is used only for meat. In the kitchen, you will notice that there are different cutting boards and they've been colored for their proper uses. So one is for meat and one is for vegetables. Now, if there is no available um, cutting board just for their use, then you have to clean properly before you use them again. Cleanliness in general is essential. Kitchen work surfaces should be regularly cleaned with hot water and detergent and kept free of domestic pets. Well, we always have to sanitize our kitchen. Dishcloths, tea towels, hand towels, and aprons should also be washed frequently at high temperature. After use, dry them quickly to prevent the multiplication of any microbes present. Then floor cloths must obviously be kept separately but maintained in the same way. Ideally, cutlery and crockery should be allowed to drain and dry naturally or by using a dishwasher if you have. Lastly, cleaning agents and other items that contain antibacterial agents may be effective in limiting cross-contamination, but they are not completely effective. Please remember that. They should be regarded as an additional barrier and not as a foolproof safeguard. Okay, so we go now to hygienic practices. Let's start with personal hygiene. So, washing of the body and hair frequently is very important. When you're handling food, you should be wearing a hairnet. Frequent washing of hands and or face also. Oral hygiene, daily brushing and flossing of teeth, and then cleaning of the clothes and living area. General avoidance of bodily fluids such as feces, urine, and vomit, of course, that's given already. Not touching animals before eating or washing hands thoroughly between touching and eating. Hold a tissue over the mouth or using your upper elbow region when coughing or sneezing rather than your bare hands, especially during this pandemic. Suppression of habits such as no speaking, touching the face should be avoided. uh, Not licking fingers before picking up sheets of paper, not biting nails, wear clean underwear and clothing every day, washing hands after using toilet and not borrowing towels, hair wash, a hairbrush, and other personal things. And for the food safety, maintain good food and cooking hygiene to prevent food poisoning. Cleaning of food preparation areas and equipment, for example, using designated cutting boards for preparing raw meat and vegetables, and thorough cooking of meats. That's also very important. Institutional dish sanitizing by washing with soap and clean water, washing of hands after touching uncooked food, not using the same utensil, not sharing of cutlery when eating. Yeah, these have been mentioned earlier, so it's a mere reiteration. Not licking fingers or hands while or after eating, proper storage of food so as to prevent contamination and refrigeration of foods and avoidance of specific foods in environments where refrigeration is or was not feasible. Then you also have labeling of food is very important. Of course, you have to indicate the best before date. Okay. Disposal of uneaten food and packaging, medicine, use of bandaging and dressing of injuries, use of protective clothing as such as mask, caps, or your PPE, sterilization of some utensils and kitchenwares, and safe disposal of waste. Grooming is also very important. Okay, just like this cartoon, I'd love to be filthy rich. And the woman said, "Well, you're halfway there. You're not rich, but you're filthy." Something like that. So grooming is very important. We start with the hair. Yeah, you have to clean, neatly comb, or make sure that you don't have uh, lice and dandruff. Ladies should have hair clipped on sides if it is long. So length of men's hair should not be go beyond the collar, and side of the hair must cover the ears. Especially if you're handling food, you have to have a hair net with you to be safer. Bangs should not be avoided. Also, in the service industry, uniforms are very important. Must be comfortably fit, no sagging hemline, properly buttoned. Sleeves should never be folded or rolled, clean and well pressed, free from stains or wrinkles. For the face of the male, we have here no shaven, it's well shaven. And then face of the female, uh, it should not be covered by the hair, so the hair is properly placed and properly clipped. And then they can use a light makeup from time to time, but not too much. The mouth should be free from bad breath, and ears, it should be clean and free from visible dirt. Earrings are never appropriate for men, especially if you are in the service industry. Body should be free from odor. Daily bathing or shower is required. The fingernails too, they should be clean and free from dirt. Men nails should be short and properly trimmed. That's the same thing with ladies. It can be polished, but not too much also. Should still be clean looking. Shoes and socks, the same thing. They should be changed regularly. Proper food handling and storage. So we have to handle our food carefully. We have to store them. So foods must be stored in proper place using appropriate containers. Avoid storage at incorrect temperatures also. Place foods that are to be chilled in the chiller and freeze foods that are need to be frozen. Foods must never be left uncovered. Okay. So current information on food safety advice for today. You have to have an advice for today to to serve as a reminder. Build a healthy base by keeping food safe to eat, clean, wash hands and surfaces often, separate raw from uncooked, and of course from the raw you still have to sort them out. Then you have to cook foods to a safe temperature, chill, then check and follow the label, serve safely. Proper storage of equipment is also very important. Of course, before you store them, you have to clean and wipe them properly also. And in sorting, scrape all leftover. Uh, if there are any, sort dishes, stuck dishes, invert cups and saucers, place silverwares in trays, pre-sock glass cream servers, place silverwares for pre-soaking. In racking also, rack dishes according to size, do not overcrowd. Rack silverwares in special containers and stack trays evenly and wash them separately. Handle dishes by the edge, cups and the silverstone handle stem glasses by the stem. Keep the dish storage area clean at all times. It should not be pest infested. Keep dish rack away from the exit end of the machine and arrange and keep linens according to their kind, color, texture. It would be nice to look at. So that would be it for now. I'm going to see you again in the next video.